I'm Venkatesh Narayanamurti, Benjamin Pierce Professor of Technology and Public Policy, Engineering and Applied Sciences, and Physics Emeritus at Harvard University. What I want to talk to you about today is very briefly about a new book which I have written with a colleague from Sandia National Laboratories, Jeffrey Tsao, who's a senior scientist at Sandia National Labs. The book has been just published by Harvard University Press, and it is entitled The Genesis of Technoscientific Revolutions, Rethinking the Nature and Nurturing of Research. You notice the title. It says technoscientific. You probably have heard there have been books written about scientific revolutions, and there have been books written about technological revolutions, including things more recent ones like iPhone. But what we are talking about is the need to recognize and change public funding of research, which is meant to be for the public good, which involves the merger of frontier research in science and technology, where each benefit from the other, and recognize that any progress in science depends on technology, and progress in technology depends on science, and the unification of the technoscientific method is what this book is about. Second, it also is significantly about the nurturing of an environment where such creativity at this interface, where a great researcher can go both from understanding the science to creating frontier technology and vice versa, and to build institutions which encourage that kind of culture against the stovepiping where you have segregated disciplines. This is a huge issue, especially in the United States, where for a long time since World War II, there has been a delineation of a linear model of innovation that science is the pacemaker of all progress, including technological progress. We know from numerous examples of the past, like at Bell Laboratories of laser and the maser and the transistor, that in fact it involved both great advances in physics as well as in great advances of how to actually make those devices and make the technology, and the union which occurred simultaneously, where the drive was the meta goal to work on communication technology, with the proximate goal being to divide the devices. So when we want to solve global problems where technology has become so central to human life, not just for economic reasons, for all kinds of other reasons, controlling the dangers of climate change, human health, gene editing, etc., it is important that there be a deeper union between the sciences, not just the hard sciences, but including the social sciences and of the physical sciences and engineering and technology. So this book is primarily aimed at breaking this barrier and developing what we call the technoscientific method, which is the union of science and technology at the frontier, where new things will happen, and then new models will have to occur to replace the great industrial laboratories of the past of cooperation from government, national laboratories, and universities, so that, in fact, our nation can progress. I'm heartened with the recent legislation of the National Science Foundation from both the Senate and the House, which talks about changing the charter a little bit of the National Science Foundation, where frontier technology becomes also an integral part. And I hope, in fact, the name would change to National Research Foundation, where research at the frontier, both in science and technology, get more or less equal billing. I hope, in fact, this will further morph into other parts in energy, climate, and national laboratories, where new modes of thinking with industry, private sector, and universities will become critical for the advancement of the country in both science and technology. Thank you.